to Pet Pals. I'm Bethany Davidson, the Humane Educator here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. We want to welcome back our animal wrangler, volunteer Randy Cooper, who's back with us today. And our first guest is Ava. And Ava is a 7-year-old silky terrier, and she is one of the rare blue color-coded animals here at the shelter. She's very calm, she's very well-mannered, and she absolutely adores people. She wants to be on laps and she wants to cuddle. She's very sweet, very affectionate. Because Ava is 7 years old, she would be qualifying for our senior discount, which means that she would be going home for $72.50 instead of the regular $92.50 adoption fee. Now, Ava is adorable and she wants to cuddle on your lap, but just because she's cute doesn't mean that she's going to be the right fit for your family. You want to make sure that with any of the animals that you're looking into adopting, that you're reading their medical and behavioral profiles extensively and understanding everything that's in there so that you know whether or not you're willing to take on all of the things that come with this animal. For Ava, she is Lyme positive and she was symptomatic, so we are treating her for that here in the shelter. If they're asymptomatic, then we wouldn't treat for that. So she's been getting some treatments for that. She also came in with a urinary tract infection, which we are treating as well. And so there's just some other things on there. So you want to really make sure that you understand what's going on with the animals, both medically and behaviorally. Fortunately, Ava's got a great behavior assessment. As you can see, she's really calm. She sits on a lap nicely. She walks nicely on a leash. You know, she is a bit of a submissive peer, so she gets excited and she might pee a little bit, but she will go outside. When you take her out, she goes outside. So she's got a lot of those things going for her. She doesn't have really any issues with food aggression or issues with toys because she's more interested in people, but she is a bit of a picky eater as well. So Ava's a fantastic dog, but you just have to make sure that you're prepared for taking on everything that comes with adding Ava to your home. If you think that you're willing to take on those minor challenges, then you can visit Ava here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. We're located at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Our next guest might be a familiar face for people who are frequent viewers of the show or frequent visitors to the shelter. This is Ozzy. He was with us last summer. He was here. He was one of our longer residents, and then we were so happy when Ozzy got adopted, but unfortunately Ozzy has a thing for birds, and his new previous owners were just unable to keep him because he had attacked a peacock and things of that nature. So Ozzy is back here with us, and we're hoping to find him a great home for him, maybe one that doesn't have birds and chickens and all kinds of those things hanging around the house. So Ozzy is a beautiful brindle pit. He is 3 to 4 years old. We do know a lot about him. We have a lot of behavioral information about him since he was here with us previously, so all of that is included in his medical and behavioral profile. Some new things that Ozzy's come back to us with. He is crate trained. He is housebroken, but the owners say that they just take him out consistently on a schedule every approximately 2 hours. So he might need a little work if you're going to keep him crated longer than that. He does no sit, he knows down. He's been walking better on a leash. He's a bit of a puller, so we have him on a specific harness here, and we would recommend to anyone that adopted him that they continue to keep him on a harness so that he doesn't pull. That's for his safety as well as the person walking him. Gives you more control, keeps them from hurting their neck and things like that. Ozzy has lived in, it says he's lived with, familiar with cats, dogs, men, women, children. He did live in a family with kids, so if you have kids in your home, that's something that Ozzy might make a great family pet for you. Ozzy does have some dew claws that we would need to make sure that those are getting trimmed regularly for his safety and health. But then we also want to make sure that he's getting continued training. His previous owners had been working with him, and he's still going to need that as he moves forward. He's still a bit of a jumper, digging, chewing, those types of dog behaviors that not everyone is thrilled with. He's going to need some help with that. But as you can see, he's very affectionate, and he is going to make a wonderful pet for any family. This next guest is Spider, and he is a handsome coonhound. He's a tricolor, and he's 2 to 3 years old. We are adopting Spider through our puppy process. Even though he's not a puppy, he does have some issues. He is showing really well right now how he loves affection and attention, but he still needs a little bit of work on his manners. He can be jumpy, he can pull a little bit, so those types of things. That's one reason why we want him to be adopted through our puppy process, so that we know that he's going to be getting placed into a family that's going to make sure that they continue to train him. Also, he's a little head shy. He can be fearful of loud noises and a lot of quick movements and things like that, so that's another reason. Also, for that reason is why we have listed him as going to an older children or adult-only home, just to make sure that we don't put him in any situations that he would be uncomfortable with and lead to any type of negative behavior. Spider did make his way to the shelter because I guess he was afraid. He was hiding under the bed, and his owner reached under the bed and grabbed at his collar, and he bit at his owner. It was a mild bite, and it was provoked, so we're not going to hinder his progress and his chance to find a new forever family because of that. Most of the animals that come to the shelter for bites or scratches, those things are provoked, and with proper training on how to on the human's part, on how to handle your animal and how to read their body language, those things can be prevented in the future. And that's what our goal is with Spider, by making sure that he's going to go to a home where there's older kids who are going to understand things that he likes and doesn't like, and also by making sure that he's going to go to a family that's going to continue to give him the training so that his wonderful goofy side will be all that people see, and the affectionate side, the playful side, instead of any of those things that are coming out as he is showing his fear. So if you're ready to take on this goofy guy, you can visit him here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center.
Look out.
He's so goofy.
Yeah, what is that? Hand on your head.
We've got another hound for you on the show today, significantly smaller than Spider. This is Lucy, and Lucy is a 5-year-old beagle mix. We adopted her out of the shelter several years ago when she was 1.5, and now she's made her way back here, and we're going to try to find her another great home. Lucy is technically a senior dog, but she definitely has the heart of a puppy. So she's still going to need a lot of training when you take her home. She has all of those typical beagle characteristics. She is a roamer, a wanderer. She's kind of an escape artist. She can be a digger. So those are all typical things of the breed. So you just want to make sure that you're prepared to take that on and you have a plan for those things. She's just being a typical beagle. So you have to be prepared for that, the barking, or all of those types of things. Those are just part of owning a beagle. But beagles also have a great temperament. They're very affectionate. So they're great family dogs. You just have to learn how to find that balance. We always recommend training for any dog that you're taking home from the shelter, just because it's helpful for them, it's helpful for you. It also creates a bonding experience for you with your new pet, and lets them know that you're kind of in charge and what the boundaries are for them. Lucy, because she is 5 years old, will be adopted for our senior discount in the adoption fee, which means that instead of being the normal $92.50, she as well will be going home for $72.50. Our adoption fee includes a number of important things that we provide for our animals. We always make sure that all of the animals are spayed neutered, they're microchipped, they go home with their rabies vaccination, county licenses, other preventative vaccines and treatments like dewormer and flea and tick preventative. We register that microchip for you. We also send them home with a free well visit to the vet, to any of the vets that participate with us. So it's really a great deal. If you're looking to add a new pet to your family, stop by and visit with us and see if there's anything that is the right fit for your family. Our last guest for the dog portion of our show is Sharpay, and she is a dog that has been on the show before in recent weeks. We're still looking to find a forever home for her. As you can see, she's adorable. She's got a very sweet face. She's got that great pit bull smile, and at 1 year old, she still has a ton of puppy in her. So Sharpay still needs some training. She needs to learn those good manners. She needs to learn sit and down, and she can be a little jumpy, pull a little bit on the leash. But the other side of that is that she's got this great playful energy. She's got this kind of zest for life, and she's very sweet and very affectionate. So you just have to channel that energy in an appropriate way, making sure that if you're adopting a dog that has a high energy level, that you're getting them out and you're getting them the exercise that they require, and that you're also giving them things to do if they're going to be inside for an extended period of time while you're at work or at school, that they have things either in the house or in their crate to keep them mentally stimulated, so that they're not going to start looking for trouble and trying to escape their crate and things of that nature. As you can see, Sharpay is a fan of toys, as well as affection. So she has a lot of potential, but she just needs a new owner that's going to be willing to give her the training that she needs so that she can become her best version of herself. We have gone ahead and spayed Sharpay, as we would do with all of the animals that come in that are not yet spayed or neutered. She's been microchipped, she's been vaccinated, we've given her all kinds of other preventatives. So the initial vet care has already been taken care of for you here in the shelter. And we do provide that free well visit so that you can get her seen by a vet and introduce her to your vet. Take care of when her next vaccines are due, or if you wanted to get her additional vaccines that we don't provide as part of our standard of care, they can help you out with all of that information. And so that's going to wrap it up for the dog portion of our show. If you stay tuned after the break, we're going to introduce you to 5 new cats on the adoption floor. Maybe one of them will be your next pet.
I'm Frederick County Executive Jan Gardner. From the shores of the Potomac River to the foothills of the Catoctin Mountains, with all the farms and bustling communities in between, there's truly something for everyone in Frederick County. Come and explore Frederick County's rich history and be part of our bright future.
Join Frederick County Parks and Recreation for some hands-on cooking classes at the Ballinger Creek Community Building in Frederick, Maryland. Some of the classes offered include cooking with your kids in our parent and child programs, have a night with your significant other in our date night classes, learn cuisines from around the world, or learn some basic cooking techniques. For more information, visit us at recreator.com or call 301-600-2936. We'll see you in the kitchen.
welcome back. As most people know, spring and summer is kitten season, and right now we are in full swing of kitten season here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. Unfortunately, for people who are looking to adopt a kitten, many of those kittens that we have in foster care, many of the kittens that we have in our care are in foster care because they are underage. Foster care gives us an opportunity to socialize the cats, to make sure that they are well fed and healthy before they then would come back to the shelter and be made available for adoption. However, we do have a couple of kittens that are on the adoption floor, and Larkin is one of them. He is 5 to 6 months old, and he came to us as a stray, already old enough to go directly onto our adoption floor. He is a handsome little orange tabby, and he is a bit shy at first. It takes him a little bit of time to warm up, but like most kittens, he then becomes incredibly affectionate, starts to purr, is curious. Once he's settled in, yesterday he was rolling around in his cage, just being a typical adorable little kitten. So even though he's a stray, we don't know much about him. When they're kittens, what you know isn't really what is going to be true for the entire life of the cat. Just like our children's personalities are still developing, personalities for kittens are still developing as well. So they're really kind of a mixed bag. When you get home, you're not sure exactly what the end result is going to be. Older cats, you tend to have more of an indicator of what their personalities are going to be like in your home. Unlike the dogs and puppies that have different adoption fees, our adoption fees for both the cats and the kittens are the same. That's $97.50. It would include the same things that we talked about earlier on the dog portion of the show: the spay and neuter, the rabies vaccination, the microchipping, the preventative vaccines and treatments like dewormer and flea and tick preventative, as well as that well visit to the vet. So it is a great deal for somebody who's looking to add a new pet to their family. So if you're interested in Larkin, definitely stop by and visit him here at the shelter. But if you're looking for a younger kitten, just keep checking in with the shelter, being active on our Pet Tango page, our Facebook page, and just visiting the shelter, because in the coming weeks and months, we will be getting a lot of kittens made available for adoption. Right now we have anywhere between, I think, 30 and 50 kittens that are living in various foster homes within our program. So they will be made available soon for adoption. Despite her youthful appearance, our next guest is actually one of our senior cats on the adoption floor. This is Confetti, a great name for a tortie cat, and she is 9 to 10 years old. So because of that, she would be adopted again for our senior adoption rate. Because she is approximately 10 years old, that would mean that instead of getting a $20 reduction, you would get a $40 reduction in your adoption fee. What we've noticed about Confetti here in the shelter, because she's a stray, we don't know very much about her, is that initially she's a little shy. Right now she's been hanging out behind the curtain on her hammock, kind of keeping, staying in a little private kind of space off to herself. But when you go and you actually visit with her and you lift up the curtain, she comes right out. She wants to be petted. She wants to be interacted with. She immediately starts to purr. So that's just one of the main reasons why you really do want to look and see what all we have. Just because the cats maybe are a little more, they might seem standoffish. That's just because they are encountered with a lot of loud noises all the time. There's people walking by them all the time, and who could blame them for really wanting that privacy? But once they know that somebody's there to see them, they really open up. It doesn't take very long, sometimes just 60 seconds for the cat to realize, hey, you're there, and to warm up to you. And then they can really show you their true personality, which in Confetti's case is very affectionate. She really enjoyed the interaction. She's kind of not sure what's going on here. She's in another new spot. She's a very new addition to the adoption floor. So she's kind of trying to get down, whether she's trying to explore or whether she's trying to hide under the chair. I'm not exactly sure at the moment. But she's a very sweet girl. She is a tortie, so those those cats with that pattern are often known for their little bit of sass. So if you're looking for kind of a sweet and sour cat, she might fit into that. We have a lot of torties on the adoption floor right now. People say they have a little tortitude. So if you're looking for a cat that maybe has a little bit more personality than some of the others, then a tortie or specifically Confetti might be a great fit for you. You can visit Confetti and all of the torties that we have available for adoption 6 days a week here at Frederick County Animal Control. Simba is our next guest, and he is actually our cat greeter. He is, we put him in the very first cage right at eye level when you come in onto the cat adoption floor. That's what we call the greeter cage, and Simba is our new greeter. He is very vocal, he's very social, he's loves attention, loves affection, as you can see, but he is also a really curious guy, wants to get out, wants to get down, wants to explore, and that's actually the reason that he ended up here in the shelter. He kept trying to escape his previous owner's house. He wanted to explore, he wanted to engage his curiosity, and that was just too much for them to handle. So they brought him to us so that we could find him a home that was more suitable for him and his personality. Simba really, really loves to play. He loves to be rubbed, but he needs somebody who's going to have the time to kind of wear out his energy. Good playtime every day for 15 minutes would be really good for him, and maybe he would not feel the need to try and get out because he's getting stimulated inside. Finding ways for him to look out the window and be engaged. And also, we don't know what kind of space he came from, so just being in a larger home might decrease the amount of times that he's trying to get out because he has more room to roam around and more things to kind of explore. Simba, it says that he's afraid of noises. I haven't really seen any of that fear in him since he's been at the shelter, and we've actually color-coded him as orange. Not because he's an orange tabby, but because that kind of matches our color coding system for his temperament. He is an average cat, meaning that he will be a lap cat when he wants to be a lap cat. He'll want to go and be by himself when he wants to be by himself. He's very independent-minded. That's kind of the epitome of a cat. He is very handsome, as you can see. He's got those great orange tabby cat markings, nice long whiskers, and he's kind of a bigger guy. He's got some length to him and a nice big long tail. If you're interested in adding this handsome and very curious guy to your family, you can stop in and visit with him here at the shelter. He's in that very first cage. He's hard to miss. This guy is Midnight, a fitting name for a black cat. He's one of many black cats that we have on the adoption floor, and he's often confused with Night, but they are two different guys. This is Midnight, as I said. He's 1 to 1.5 years old. He did come to us previously owned. The owner was very honest when they told us why they were bringing him in. They just didn't want to have a cat anymore. So they brought him to us so that we could find Midnight an owner who does want him and wants to give him all of the love and attention that he deserves. We've color-coded Midnight as orange, just as with Simba. He kind of does things on his own terms. He's a typical average cat. Fairly calm, fairly easy to handle, still likes to play, but can also be a lap cat depending on his mood. Midnight seems to be a little shy in a new environment out here on the set today, but he seems to have calmed down and settled nicely into the bit of the corner there in the chair, and he's enjoying all of the love and attention that he's getting from Randy. According to his previous owner, he has been around children before. He's playful, he's friendly. They do say that he claws at furniture, but that's something that all cats are going to do. They all want to scratch and claw at things. It's part of their natural cat behavior. What's important is that all cat owners understand how to channel that behavior. It's important to have scratching pads and scratching posts in the house and to give the cats positive reinforcement when they're using those things, so they want to continue to do that. A lot of people don't think that cats can be trained like a dog could be, but they can. It just takes a little bit of time and finding the right reinforcement tool, whether it's attention or treats, whatever playtime, whatever is going to motivate them. and also disciplining them when they're using the incorrect things to scratch on. We recommend the spray bottle method here. It doesn't hurt the animals if you spray them with water. It doesn't hurt your furniture, your floors, anything like that. But the cats don't like it, so it is a great deterrent for them as far as negative behavior, whether it's scratching or sitting on the counter, or any of those things. But Midnight here is a very sweet guy. He is a favorite for some of our volunteers. They love to visit with him. And if you want to visit with him and see if he's going to be your favorite and the one that you want to add to your home, you can stop by Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center, and you can walk around the floor, or you could just come to the front and ask for information about Midnight. The last guest that we have for you today is Arthur, and he's another one of our handsome senior pets. He's kind of like a classic movie star, like a Gregory Peck kind of, Cary Grant kind of guy. He's got those beautiful green eyes that really are just amazing. They'll kind of melt your heart if you stare into them for too long. And he's just a really, really amazing cat. He's very sweet. He's very easy to handle. He's perfectly content to sit on a lap. He's purring, he's kneading. He's a very sweet guy. He can be a little shy at first. You know, for the first couple of days on the adoption floor, he kind of hung out behind the curtain on his hammock. But now he's really enjoying visitors. He comes, if he hears somebody, he comes right out to the front of his cage. He rubs against the cage. He wants to engage with people. His previous owners, after 8 years, they brought him to us because they were no longer able to keep him. And they just wanted us to know that he can be skittish, a little bit afraid of loud noises, but he seems to be doing really well in the shelter, where there are lots of noises all day long, lots of different animal smells, different people. So he seems to be adjusting really well to that, so he would be adjusting really well to a new home as well. It says that he came from a home that did have dogs, as well as small animals such as guinea pigs. So if you have a dog and you're thinking of adding a cat to your family, Arthur might be a good fit for you. In addition to his beautiful cream coat and those gorgeous green eyes, another interesting physical feature to Arthur is that he has a bobtail, so he doesn't really have a tail there. So that's kind of a quirky thing that separates him from the other animals on the adoption floor. But if you're looking to add a sweet, handsome, older gentleman to your home, stop by and visit with Arthur. He's going to make a great addition to any family. We are open here 6 days a week at 1832 Rosemont Avenue if you wanted to visit Arthur or any of the many animals that we have available for adoption right now. We also want to encourage people to stop by and learn more about the shelter and have a great time with your friends and family by visiting us on May 27th for our open house. We're going to have vendors, and the shelter will be open to see adoptable animals. We're going to have free food, games for the kids, so it's going to be a great event that we hope that you won't miss.